Hello fellow duelists and collectors. Today I'm going to be showing you my cheap, spare, whatever you call it, Blackwing deck that is basically just leftover cards that I had since I've collected so many Blackwing cards that I decided to build a deck out of to face either beginner players or other sort of not as good decks that my friends might have. So one Dark Arm Dragon because it's a lot cheaper in today's format and it comes in common, so it's really easy to get. One Kogarashi for its special summon, and also if you use it for a synchro summon, your opponent can't activate cards or effects, so that's a pretty good effect just to have on hand. And then we have two Kunai the Drizzle, which he is a really, really good card for this because he lets you get to the extra deck real easy. So you can special summon him by tributing a Blackwing, which doesn't take your normal summon away, and also you get to use his effect to change another Blackwing's level. Also, he becomes a tuner. So it's like you can either change another Blackwing's level to adhere to whatever synchro you want to summon, or you can make the other Blackwing level 5 to use for an Ixie summon for, like, if you have a 5-star Ixie like Ice Beast Zero Fort. So definitely a good card to have. I would say in a secondary Blackwing deck, or in my case, thirdary, you would want 3 even of him because he's a decent card. Shura should be self-explanatory. It's like the backbone of Blackwings, or at least was for a long time. And, you know, destroys an opponent's monster, you get special summon a Blackwing with 1500 less attack from your deck is definitely just a staple Blackwing card. 3 Boras, because now it's a lot cheaper with the new set that came out, and also, you know, it's special summons and it does piercing damage, and it's a 4-star, so it's definitely a good Blackwing to have. We have 3 Kalut and also 1 Damascus, because these are all for attack boost, which is a common theme you'll see in this deck, but raising your Blackwing's attack points to incredibly high numbers is a very useful tool. 2 Blizzard the Far North, because it special summons monsters from the grave, is almost an instant synchro summon, and occasionally an Ixie summon if you actually run a 2-star Ixie. Tornado, because it's like a reverse Blizzard that summons a monster from the grave, but it's not a tuner. So, and also you can special summon it, so that's different and better, I would say. 1 Etesian, because if you need effect damage on your opponent, if your monster battles their monster and either neither monster is destroyed or your monster is destroyed, you can inflict 1,000 points of effect damage, so that's always good in case you have trouble getting over something like an indestructible monster. Then we have Mistral the Silver Shield, which he's mainly here just for having another monster tuner and to get rid of with cards for Black Feathers, but he has a good effect that reduces the next damage you take to 0. He has 1800 defense, and he's a tuner, so he's a decent card to have. Not very necessary, though. 3 cards for Black Feathers for the draw power, even though it inhibits your special summoning ability. 3 Mystical Space Typhoon to control your opponent's back row. It's definitely a good card, I think, and even in today's format. 2 Black Whirlwind, the essential card for Blackwings. If you're not running this in a Blackwing deck, you don't know what you're doing, so definitely run it at least 1, if not 3. So highly recommended. 1 Monster Reborn, which is pretty staple and standard all the way back from the beginning. 2 Mystical Plasma Zones, sorry. And then 1 Terraforming. Terraforming is just to reduce the card number in the deck to 39, hopefully. And then Mystic Plasma Zone is also part of the strengthening your monster strategy of this deck. Fissure to destroy an opponent's weak monster. Magical Stone Excavation, because you have a lot of spell cards in this deck, and it's pretty helpful. 3 Delta Crow Anti-Reverse to also control your opponent's back row, and it can be activated from your hand, so that's a pretty good effect as well. And then we have 2 Escape from the Dark Dimension, since you will be removing from play for this deck, if not for cards for Black Feathers, for something else, or your opponent might. So it's good to get your dark monsters back from removed from play. Mirror Force, just for protection. Magic Drain, just to stop your opponent from activating a magic card, hopefully, since it's not a guarantee. That's just a substitute for any counter trap card, essentially. And then we have Onimaru for the extra deck. Onimaru, Silverwind, Raikiri, Chidori, those are the, like, and we have Armed Wing, and then we have Graham. So those are the synchro Blackwings that we use, just because they're spares that I have, honestly. Then we have an X-Saber Urbellum and Flamvolary Quizis for the staples, just to throw in an extra 7 and 6-star with decent effects, and honestly, they're easy to get. A lot of people have them, so for a budget, these are just relatively good cards to have. Then for the Ixies, we have Ice Beast Zero Fort, Gaga Gigo the Risen, Ice Beast Zero Fine, and Raid Raptor Rise Falcon. So Ice Beast Zero Fort lets you reduce an opponent's monster's attack to 0 and is easy to summon how I showed you earlier. Zero Find negates all your opponent's card effects and gains attack for every face-up card in the field, so that gives you a huge boost. Giga Giga the Risen if you just need the attack power. And then Raid Raptor Rise Falcon targets the special summon monster, and then it gains the attack, and then it can attack all your opponent's monsters. So if they have a special summon with the highest attack, this can be really good to just screw your opponent over. And that is it for this deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please give me a like, and if you want to see more like this, please subscribe. Thank you so much, and come back for more Blackwings.